Alright, good morning everybody and happy Sunday. My name is Callie, and if you haven't seen the flyer yet today, because this week is superhero week, I will be doing a superhero themed painting today. And so for this painting we are doing handprint superhero painting. So I will be showing you 3 different superheroes. We are going to be doing Spider-Man, the Hulk, and a Ninja Turtle. So there's only a few things that you need for this. You will need your handprint. You also will need paper to place your hand on. You will need paintbrushes, otherwise you can use your hands or just your fingers to kind of decorate your print. As well as if you want to be putting paint in something, a lot of the times I use the top of a shoe container. Otherwise you can use a paper plate or anything that you're willing to let paint dry on. And then obviously you'll need your paints. For this, for Spider-Man, you will need just red for the base of the body. For the Ninja Turtle, you will need green and then an accent color for the mask. So I'm using red for that. And then for Hulk, you will need purple and green, as well as for the 3 of those, you will need white and black paint to kind of add details and accent them. And then lastly, it's kind of optional. I would suggest having hot soapy water kind of to wash your hands, or some type of warm wet washcloth or something to kind of get the paint off your hands. I have that here with me. If you are following along at home, obviously you can go and wash your hands in between, but because I don't have that today and I don't want to get up and jump back and forth, I will just be using those cloths. So we can jump right into it. So I'm just going to rip out a piece of paper first. I might be using a couple for this, but for now we'll just rip out one. And we will start with the Spider-Man one. So you can either do this one of 2 ways. As I said before, having something to put your paints on would help. You can put your paint down onto, say, this or a paper plate or something that you're willing to get paint on, and you could physically dip your hand in it and then transfer it to the paper. Or you can put paint down on here, take a paintbrush, and go back and forth like that. Today I'm actually just going to go directly onto my hand with the red, and then I'm going to spread it around with a paintbrush. If you don't have paintbrushes available, like I said before, you can just go back and kind of dip back and forth, and you can use your finger instead of a brush. Alright, so if you see here, I just have red. I'm going to take my hand and place a good amount on my hand. You want to make sure you do this because paint tends to dry fast, especially on the surface of your hand. So for Spider-Man, it's very simple. Everything for this is going to be red, and then after we will accent with the red, or with the black and the white. So I'm just going to cover this very quickly as I don't want it to dry. Show you what it looks like. So here's my hand. I will show you my paper. And then I'm just going to stamp. I'm going to make sure I put a bunch of pressure. I'm going to push down each finger. Kind of want to make sure that everything's going down. Push at the base of my hand. And then lift up. So I'm going to drop my pencil in the water. But as you can see, here's my first handprint. So again, I'm taking a cloth just to wipe off my hand. If you don't have a cloth available, you can just go wash your hand in between, which would make it way easier. Alright. So, just gonna finish cleaning my hand. Just gonna take some of that hot soapy water. I do want to make sure I get my hand decently clean, as I'm going to be using different colors for the Hulk and the Ninja Turtle, so I don't want any red to transfer onto them. Made sure to bring a few sheets because it can get messy. Alright. Okay, so for the most part, my hand is cleaned off. It's still a little red, kind of tinted red, but I'm not too worried about that because that's not going to transfer onto the paper. Obviously, at the end, I will make sure my hands are thoroughly cleaned off. But for now, we are okay. So, okay, I'm going to use the same piece of paper for my other one. I am just going to stamp on the other side. So for the next one, I will be doing the Ninja Turtle. So same thing goes here. And for the Ninja Turtle, the body needs to just be all green. So just like Spider-Man, we are going to take green and we are going to go directly onto the hand and stamp on. So this is easy as well. For this one, you only need that one color, just like for Spider-Man. So I'm going to take my green, and then fairly quickly try to get my entire hand green, because I don't want anything to dry. So you want to paint every finger. So here's what that looks like. And then I am stamping down on my paper. I'm going to push all my fingers down, as well as my palm. And then I'm going to lift. So as you can see, now we have our green stamp. I'm going to be using green again. So I'm not going to worry too much about the cleanup. Okay, so I only cleaned off the 3 of my middle fingers because for this next one, what you want to do is you want to paint the base of your hand green, and then you want to paint your 3 center fingers purple, as they kind of like are showing the Hulk's pants, which are purple. So I'm going to get that paint out, as well as I need to get another sheet. So we will set that aside to dry, and then I will take a new piece of paper. Alright. So as I said, we will be going in, and I'm just going to add some more green to my hand for this one. So for Hulk, you want to take green, and you want to cover your thumb, you want to cover the palm of your hand, and you want to cover your pinky with green. And then fairly quickly, get out another brush, and with purple, you want to paint the 3 center fingers on your hand, because if you know what the Hulk looks like, he has purple pants, so this is what this is representing. If you don't want to do all 3, you could just skip your middle finger, that way it actually looks like pants. But I'm just going to do all 3, that way you can see the handprint pretty well. So now I'm going to push down on all of these, push down on my palm really good, and then lift. So as you can see, my handprint is there. And that is the final handprint we will be doing. Just for this, we will be having them sit and dry for a bit. So while they are drying, you do want to kind of clean your hand. Obviously, if you have a sink available at home or wherever you are, makes the cleanup process a little bit easier. But having warm cloths and some hot water works easy as well. Alright, just going to take some of this hot soapy water to my hand. Make sure I get it mostly cleaned off. Doesn't have to be perfect. Some of it transferred over to my other hand, so I'm just going to kind of clean that up a little bit. Okay, so for the most part, my hand is clean. Doesn't have to be perfect. Don't really have to worry about colors anymore because I will be going back and just decorating. So for now, I'm going to set this aside, and then we are going to start back up with our Spider-Man painting. So as you remember, for Spider-Man, we did the entire handprint red. And from here, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be adding a kind of Spider-Man design. So I'm going to flip this upside down. So if you are looking at your handprint, you want the center of your hand in the middle. So because I didn't fill the entire handprint with red, what I'm going to do now quickly is just fill that center space. So now it is entirely red. But what we're going to do is now we are going to go back with our white and with our black, and we are going to add in different details. And this one I'm just going to fill in that space there. I'm going to do that the same on the Hulk, just because you want your palm to be entirely full of color. Okay, so for the rest of this, I will just be taking different paints and creating the design. So the first thing that you want to do for Spider-Man is you want to do the spider web of his outfit. So for that, you're going to take some black. I'm just going to place it into that top of the shoe case that I use for my paints. You could use a paper plate as well. Anything that can hold your paints. And then starting from the inside out, you want to kind of create a spider web look. So I'm going to start, as I said, from the inside. And I'm going to create a little circle. And that is kind of like the center of the hand. And from there, I'm going to create the eyes next, which are kind of a teardrop shape. So I'm just going to outline those just so I know where to go back in with my white. And I don't want to go over that spot with with this spider web. Just gonna go around, make sure I have that outline pretty well. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I do want to make sure that I will be able to see it. Okay, so as you can see now, I have a dot in the middle, and from there I have the outlines of his eyes. We will go back and fill those in with white, but for now, that is what we are doing. And now we are going to work our way out, kind of in a spiderweb shaped pattern. So I'm just going to kind of go around and create some lines. And I'll show you from here what I'm doing. So I created this shape right here, and then from that center dot, I'm going to connect it to each point of this shape. And then from each point there, I'm just going to work out and be doing the same thing. So from each line I made, I am going to just reach it out to the edge of my hand. So on here, I created 7 lines. But it is up to you on how many you would like to create. No matter where these are pointing, I'm going to reach them all the way out. To the edge of my hand. Some of them are larger than others, spacing wise. But that is okay. All right. And then from here, in every space, you kind of just want to make a slight U shape going up. So I'm just going to make a U, and I'm going to work that all the way up to the top of my handprint. So that is what this looks like, and then from each U shape that you made there, you want to do the same in the same spot all the way around in each space that you have created. And the top ones aren't perfectly going to connect, but that is all right. So you want to work all the way around. Just continually creating that U. 2 sections left. So if you do create less lines, obviously I said I made 7, but if you are doing less than that, it does make this process easier and a lot quicker. Alright, so as you can see here, I'll do one last line and then I will show you guys what it looks like. So going around, it kind of created a spiderweb pattern. And then lastly, if you remember, we kind of went in and created the outline for the eyes. That is the next thing we will be doing here. So I'm just going to put some white down. I'm going to take another small brush, go right into the white, and just fill in that eye space that we created before. So this kind of just really accents where the eyes are, because in the costume, in the Spider-Man costume, all you really see is that Spider-Man pattern all the way around his costume as well as his eyes. So there is Spider-Man. And next we are moving on to the Ninja Turtle. So as I said in the beginning, for the Ninja Turtle you do need an accent color. So I am using red just for the mask. So I'm going to go in and place some red down and then take a paintbrush and we will fill that in. So for this hand, I am going to be working with it upside down again. So I'm just going to flip that, and about a finger or two space down from the top of the palm, you will just create a solid line all the way across. You want to do it fairly thick, but not too thick. Alright, so here is that band at the top, and then from there you kind of want to make two lines at the end, creating a V shape. This just creates the end of the mask, like that. And then from there, we will go in with the black. And because the red is still drying, I'm not going to do the eyes yet. I can wait till the very end to do that. So for now, I'm just going to go back in with the black and give a smile. So there is our smile, and I will be going back and adding in the eyes at the very end, but for now we will move on to the Hulk. So just like before, I have those 3 fingers outlined for the pants. And from here we will be doing the Hulk's face. So at the very top of the Hulk, we will be doing his hair. So you kind of want to do some zigzag lines. I'll show you what that looks like here. So I did some zigzag lines, kind of a triangle pattern, and then I'm just going to fill that space in all the way at the top. Alright, so now that I've finished the hair, the next thing that I will be doing is going back with white and focusing on the mouth. So if you've ever seen pictures or watched movies of the Hulk, his mouth is always showing his teeth, kind of like this. So what we want to do is kind of just create that white block of teeth, and then once that has dried, we will go back in with some black just to kind of highlight that. So I'm just going to go in and create a decent size kind of block. It's not going to be a perfect rectangle because I do want it to have some shape, but for the most part it's just a rectangle. So as you can see here, there is my mouth shape. We will leave that to dry for a little bit. Next, we'll just add our little nose. Kind of just an elongated U shape. And then expanding from that, we will just add the eyes. So you kind of want to do some upset eyebrows because the Hulk always seems to be angry. And then for the eyes, you just want to finish off with some circles. Alright, so the white isn't all the way dry yet, but I didn't put a lot on, so it's not super wet. So I'm just going to go back and accent that with my black. And then in the center, just gonna kind of create a zigzag line to show that he has angry teeth. Just like that. So now we have created our Hulk. I'm gonna fill in his eyes, just so you can't see that green underneath. But there is our Hulk. And the red has dried on this one, so I'm just going to add in 2 tiny black dots for eyes on the Ninja Turtle. So now these are all complete. So here we have our Ninja Turtle. Here we have our Spider-Man, and lastly we have the Hulk. But that is all that I have for you guys today. If you're doing this, make sure you are cleaning your hands very well as make sure you are letting the paint dry, because that is a very important part of this. But I had a super fun time doing this with you guys today, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will be posting pictures in the comments below of my final results as well as the materials needed for this project. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day.